Hello and welcome back to Engaging Conversations. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and each week we sit down with people who are reshaping what's possible for our health, communities, and future. Today's episode is all about innovation and impact, and the courage to challenge what's already being done. My special guest is Craig Hewat, Managing Director of Engage VR, a groundbreaking rehab and allied health service using immersive virtual reality to transform how people recover from conditions like stroke, brain injury, and Parkinson's. Craig brings over 30 years of experience in the health sector, and his approach is simple but powerful. Engage people, personalize their rehab, and empower them to keep going, whether they're in a clinic, at home, or even camping in the bush. Together, we'll explore the science of neuroplasticity, how VR builds new pathways in the brain, and why meeting clients where they are physically, emotionally, and technologically is reshaping what recovery can look like. This episode is proudly brought to you by Nias Kenneth and the team at Nepean Advanced Rehab and Allied Health Centre, where lives are changed every day through expert rehab services delivered with compassion, integrity, and results. Guided by a powerful purpose, empowering movement, restoring life. Their work with people like Craig proves that when care is personal, outcomes are powerful. And for the disclaimer, the views shared in this episode are for informational purposes only and do not constitute for medical advice. If you're curious about where rehabilitation is headed and how technology is creating new possibilities for independence, dignity, and daily living, this is a conversation worth leaning into. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, my name's Craig Hewat. I'm Managing Director of Engage VR Rehab, which is a business based in Newcastle. We're a multidisciplinary business, so we've got a range of allied health professionals, physiotherapists, occupational therapists, exercise physiologists, speech pathologists, and 2 visiting rehab physician doctors into our clinic. And we treat a range of clients with complex conditions such as brain injury, stroke, Parkinson's, etc. And I suppose the one differentiating factor about our business is we use virtual reality extensively in our clinic and with clients in regional and remote areas, very much in the digital health space.
And you've always believed that rehab could be more engaging, more personalised. What was the moment that made you think there has to be a better way than what we are doing right now?
I've always thought that way, Leon, to be honest. I mean, that's been me in my journey of health, always challenging, can we do this better? And most of it comes back from just a want to improve clients' function, maintain some clients' function because they've got a degenerative disease, but mostly trying to improve clients' function. In my 30 years that I've been in health, I've always challenged how we can do this better. And when I first saw someone using virtual reality, that's what clicked with me. I was like, okay, it's not the only solution, but it's certainly part of the solution, I think, to really improve how we're delivering health services across Australia.
Yeah, well, it seems like you're not just tinkering at the edges. You're trying to flip the model. And you said Engage VR challenges the status quo. And we've had a few conversations leading up to this. But what we really want to know is what exactly are you challenging and what kind of results are you seeing because of it?
We're challenging engagement. It's really the reason why we called the business Engage VR, because the common truth out there is that people don't particularly engage well with their rehabilitation at any level, really. You know, from the days when I was a younger physio working in a private practice and I asked people to go home and do their exercises, the engagement level was normally pretty low. When you've got a complex disease or condition like stroke, Parkinson's, Huntington's, you've had a spinal cord injury, the repetition and frequency of rehab's really, really important. So you need to do 3, 4, 5+ hours a week. So if you're not enjoying it, things are going to not go well. So you need to engage. And that's the light bulb moment I had when I saw VR was this is one way to really get people engaged in what they're doing. Let me explain what I mean. We have a client that's been attending our business since inception, even through COVID, that has Huntington's disease, which is a degenerative, aggressive at times degenerative disease, who was previously attending allied health services and wasn't really engaging with his activity. And then he would go home and not really do any other form of rehabilitation. As soon as he was exposed to virtual reality experiences that we have in the clinic, and then was able to take that VR headset home and do those clinical experiences at home, his engagement levels went through the roof. Really, he did a lot of rehab activity, and he was able to because he had the time. He was slowing down at work, moving from full-time to part-time, and then eventually retired. But he was doing a lot of activity, and his results that we track, and we do assess a lot of different criteria, his results stabilised. And when he went down to Westmead Hospital to visit with his specialist on a regular occurrence, his specialists were actually quite surprised that his results had somewhat stabilised and that his data was reasonably stable. And it has been over the last 4 or 5 years, which is very unusual for a Huntington's client.
Well, when people tend to slow down, the lack of movement, they become slower. They lose their ability to move forward, to progress. And the idea of challenging oneself and doing new activities is creating new pathways, and that runs deeper than just tech. Craig, when you talk about new pathways, for clients, professionals and partners, what does that actually look like in practice?
Well, there's a concept in the neurological space called neuroplasticity, which a lot of people may have heard of, and that's the ability really for the brain, neural connections in the brain to adapt and use other neural connections. So I'll give you an example. We all use approximately, the research tells us, around 40% of our neural connections on a regular basis. And because we do the same thing every day, we probably get up in the same bed, same car, same family, same environment. There's no other reason why you would want to use other neural connections. So to get that neuroplasticity or new pathways occurring, you need two main things. You need a lot of repetition, which I've already explained. VR is a beautiful avenue for that. And you also need to expose the body to things it's not used to doing. So, and in VR, we can put people into experiences where they're underwater diving, skiing, hang gliding, boxing with Sylvester Stallone. So that exposes the brain and the body to a totally different experiences. That potentially creates new pathways. And even, you asked me around clinicians. A lot of the clinicians that work in our business don't get exposed to this tech through university. Coming into our business, they get exposed to a new pathway. They're doing different things than probably what they thought they were going to be doing in the allied health space.
And the brain's ability to rewire itself is very powerful if we give it the right input. It seems that way to me anyway.
Yeah, 100%. We see that differently in clients. And obviously, we're still working with a lot of universities to review research around some of the data that we're presenting. But clinically, we see some really good results with different clients, Parkinson's, Huntington's, brain injured clients. And a lot of our clinicians will tell you that using VR, they notice a significant difference. So, and that's lots of reasons why that happens.
So tell me, how does VR rehab tap into neuroplasticity in a way traditional therapy might struggle to match?
Yeah, so as I said, it's basically around the two key principles of neuroplasticity, which is repetition. So the research is very big on shorter duration rehab sessions, so 20 minutes, and more regular, more frequent sessions, so 6, 8, 10 times a week. Very difficult to do that if you want to attend a clinic and see a clinician to do 6 to 8 to 10 sessions a week. One, it would cost you a lot. Two, you'd have to get in your car a lot and come to different areas. So when you've got a VR platform that we've developed, you can do that anywhere. And the recent Primary Health Network project we did in the New England region our clients use the platform on average 3 hours a week. So that's, on an average 20 to 25 minute session. So that's basically perfect. That's what we want them to do. So that repetition, the VR enables that repetition. And then, as I was saying before, it enables us to expose clients to totally different experiences that they're not used to. And that's where the adaptation occurs.
Well, consistency is the key in rehab, but traditional models, they just don't make it easy. How has Engage VR helped clients to go beyond the standard 2 times a week model, and what difference does it actually make?
So I suppose the technology enables clients to access their health rehab anywhere, at home. We've got a great example where a lot of our clients will tell us they're going to visit their son-in-laws or daughter-in-laws, or they're going around Australia for a trip. They're going on a holiday for 6 weeks, and so they need to stop their rehabilitation. The human body deconditions in 10 days, so that happens very quickly. A lot of our clients that have got access to our VR platform will take it with them and continue doing their rehab exercises at their son-in-laws, at their daughter-in-laws. We've got some beautiful videos of our clients doing their rehab in a caravan because they've put Starlink and they've got Wi-Fi, and so they're continuing their rehab. So that allows them to do that 6 times a week, shorter duration sessions, more regularly.
And you've answered my next question. The location shouldn't dictate recovery outcomes.
No, we've got a great story around that, actually, which I'd love to share.
Please do.
We work with a lot of clients, Narrabri, Gunnedah, obviously very regional, rural areas. One of our clients particularly was very devoted to his rehab. He was out in the middle of his property and he was camping out with a few of his friends. And he was trying to get some signal to use his VR platform. So he taped a shovel to the back of his ute, drove it to the top of a hill, taped his mobile phone to the shovel, and then paired his mobile phone with his VR platform and did his rehab on the back of his ute in the middle of his farm, which was a fascinating story. And it's obviously resonated really well with our clinicians and clients. So there you go. You literally, our clients can do their rehab wherever they can access a connection, and that's getting better and better in Australia these days.
And they're innovating in new creative ways.
Yeah, correct.
Using a shovel.
Our clients are innovating just as well as we are.
Craig, is it a spade or a shovel? Which one would you call it?
Well, he called it a shovel, so I'll call it a shovel. It evidently worked well for him. He said he was there for about 20 minutes doing his speech pathology exercises on the VR platform. So, great story.
And you get to come across many different people, and even the professionals need a new pathway. Let's say for health professionals feeling burnt out, how does Engage VR give them something fresh to believe in?
Well, I suppose it's a new field for them, and when our clinicians come in, they collaborate with our development team to build these clinical experiences that they would commonly do in the clinic today, and then they get to use them on our VR platform, which is really exciting for a clinician to see that come to life, and for a client to be able to use that on a daily basis. And it really opens, I suppose, a lot of our clinicians' eyes and minds in how they can deliver their therapy with our clients. Most of the time, they really enjoy it. So I suppose our clinicians also really enjoy the fact that we collaborate with larger organisations as well. So, we're working closely with a lot of the support organisations, New South Wales Health, Allianz Insurance, those type of organisations, to really collaborate with our clinicians together to see if we can deliver an innovative product for their clients as well. So that's exciting for our clinicians to be part of that, because we're in this together. I'm learning that organisations are looking for, what's coming next. There's a lot of talk around AI particularly, but more so digital health and technology and how we're going to use that moving forward. So a lot of these larger organisations are looking at, can that help us provide better access for clients to access health services? Because that is big issue, and more effective health services, which I've spoken about earlier. And then the other thing is obviously, more cost-effective services. So, yeah, that collaboration between large organisations and what we're trying to do is essential to our focus. Yeah, I mean, certainly the health system has its challenges at the moment. We've got a large aged care growth of that population, and we need to be able to manage the health of that population well. So we've also got a regional rural population, which is getting bigger and bigger. So there are some significant challenges in how we manage that. And I think digital health, especially VR and the platform we've developed, is part of the solution. And I think we've learned over the years full well that we just can't be shipping clinicians out to regional areas. It's not working. It hasn't worked all that well. So we really need to look at digital technology and how we can use that better. And we've proven that, right, with the Primary Health Network grant that we did last year into this year, that it was extremely effective in a lot of those regional rural areas like Gunnedah, Glen Innes, Narrabri, all of those areas. It worked really well. So we think it's certainly part of the future.
Well, you're just scratching the surface.
Yeah, we are very excited. We're working with a lot of universities, Central Queensland Uni, Newcastle University, particularly Flinders University. We're doing a lot of projects with them and their biomedical team, in their speech pathology team. We were successful with the Primary Health Network Game Changer grant that ran from June 2024 to June 2025. So we've just wrapped up that grant. And that gave us a lot of information around the use of the VR digital health platform. Some of the exciting things we've built in there is the ability to cast the VR image onto a laptop so a carer can see exactly what the client is doing in their VR headset. So that was a really exciting innovation. We're also building in the connection with wearables, so smartwatches and other smart devices, so that we can track physiological data from that client whilst they're doing that experience. And that's really important for us as clinicians, but it's also important for the client so they can be safe and, really do a specific experience relevant to what they need. So there's a lot of different things happening. We're doing a lot of work with different universities, particularly Flinders University, with their biomedical team, and also their speech pathology team, where we've got some exciting things happening.
There certainly are lots of exciting things. But if someone's listening, walks away remembering only one thing, what should it be?
Engage VR is challenging the status quo, the status of rehabilitation for lots of different complex injuries over the years. It's challenging that, really, and look at the delivery of how we deliver rehab for better function, but also for better access. And essentially, it's really stripping back to a data-based science, because we're scientists at the end of the day, looking at how we can use data, assessment data, but also the data we get from people doing these experiences regularly, and how we can improve or maintain their function to get better results.
Now, if someone wanted to get in contact with you, what's the easiest way?
So people can get in touch via our website, which is www.engagevr.com.au, or they can call our clinic on 1300 Engage, which is 1300 364 243.
So that's engagevr.com.au or 1300 Engage 364 243.
That's right.
Perfect. Craig, thank you so much for coming on. I will have more information in the show notes. It's always wonderful to catch up, to chat, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thanks, Leon. Appreciate it.
Now, that was a conversation that reminds us what's possible when care meets innovation and when we put people at the heart of progress. Craig Hewat and the team at Engage VR aren't just introducing new technology, they're creating new pathways for healing, recovery, and hope. It's the kind of thinking, forward, compassionate, and grounded in real outcomes, that's helping reshape how we support individuals, families, and communities across the country. If you'd like to learn more, head over to engagevr.com.au or check out the show notes for direct links and contact details. And if this episode sparked something in you, you're in the right place. Engaging Conversations isn't just a podcast, it's a platform for real stories, genuine connections, and shine a light on people doing remarkable work, often behind the scenes. Unlike other shows, our mission is clear: to celebrate the unsung heroes, help them find their voice, and remind you that your voice matters too. This movement is growing, and now it's expanding into print. Keep an eye out for our new publication celebrating connections, launching in communities across Australia. It's our way to segue into the new year on a high and setting the stage for even bigger things ahead. So if you believe in building something meaningful, if you value depth over noise, and if you want to be part of a community that uplifts and connects, make sure to follow the show. Share it with someone you respect and stay with us as we step into what's next. And once again, a massive thank you to Nias Kenneth and the team at Nepean Advanced Rehab and Allied Health Centre for supporting the platform and the values it stands for: empowering movement, restoring life. At Engaging Conversations, we're committed to building communities by empowering voices and celebrating people. And every episode, every story, and every listener brings us one step closer. I'm Leon Goltzman, and until next time, let's keep showing up, lifting each other, and creating something meaningful together.